Hi everyone, welcome to session 7, and in today's session we're going to do a tea consistency glaze over the background to push it back in space, and we'll also remove the masking and start refining some details. So let's go ahead and get started.
I'm going to admit it, I am itching to take the masking off of this eye and really refine it. I would say take off the masking to these ears, but you got to make sure you've got your background done. And what I think I want to do with my background is put a tea to milk consistency glaze over this whole background to push it back just a little more to bring this beautiful fawn even more forward. And this is a great subject matter because the subject matter is all warms, reds, and yellows in the fawn, and then in the background we have this lovely cool background which just hands us as artists on a platter correct colors to create dimension. So this painting really hands it to us on a platter for that. But let's do a little bit of refining, just a little bit. I'm gonna get my scrubber, dip it in my water, make sure it's clean by going like that and then dipping it in again. And there's some light areas there. Just see, there's the edge of that spot, and then up here I think I need to actually, I've got my my and this should be lighter than right here, so I need to, maybe I just didn't make this, something's wrong with my drawing in here. I don't even think it matters. Who's gonna even notice? Who cares? But I just noticed that. This is all just one piece actually. And I'm gonna go over this background with a blue glaze. I'm gonna put a blue glaze, very watery, blue glaze. Might as well get some of this. Just to use it. Okay, I'm really getting this very watery. I really want it quite subtle. I'm going to take that glaze right over the ear. Right over this edge too. All right, I'll let that dry. All right, so everything's completely dry. And a lot of times I get a question, when do you know when to take off the masking? You take off the masking when the areas behind the masking, for example, this fur and all that, doesn't need a lot of reworking, and you don't need to work over whatever it is you're removing. And I think I've got enough detail in this fur that I can do that. So I'm going to remove the masking, and then we can do some refinements and work on the eye and do some of the final refinements that we'll do on this painting. And you can use your finger, you can use crepe eraser. My crepe eraser has kind of gotten dirty, so I don't know how well this will work. But this is a crepe eraser. It's designed to remove sticky things off of paper. I think it was originally created for book restores. But sometimes this does remove the masking better than just my finger. And then also if I have a lot of masking to remove, I will actually burn my finger if I'm taking off too much masking. So this crepe eraser really does the job nicely. All right, I think that's it. I think we got it all. You can wipe away the crumbs, and then you'll kind of be able to feel where there's little stragglers. Now we can refine all these little areas. I'm going to get my scrubber. I think what I want to do is scrub out some lighter areas in the eye. And I also want to put some blue, pure blue, in the eye and refine this eye. So I'm just getting my size 2 stiff scrubber by Royal & Langnickel. I'm getting it wet. And I'm going to have my paper towel at hand to blot as needed. And I think one thing I want to do is this blue, there's a little blue highlight in this corner of the eye. So I really want to play that up. So I'm just going to softly scrub at this area. And I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to put some blue in there, and then I'll repaint darks around it. I think that's going to be the plan. And then these little white highlights, I don't think I need those. I don't see where that's actually a thing in this eye. Let's get, you know what we need to do is look at this picture that I lightened, and I lightened this picture so I could see the eye. And now I wish I would have printed out just the eye and made it really big. That would really have helped me. So that's an idea, how to use your digital tools to best serve you as an artist is use your Photoshop or your photo editing program and really lighten your eye if it's too dark and you can't see details, and then just crop just the eye and then print the eye out. And that'll help you really see details when you're painting, like during this time. So, let's see, what would be a really bright blue? I think I'm gonna go for some phthalo blue. And if you have like a turquoise or a really nice bright blue, that's what I would use. And that's the thing, is that if it turns out too bright, you can always darken it. So I'm just gonna let that dry in that area that I just scrubbed out. And while that's drying, actually I'm gonna let that completely dry because I don't want any brown to seep into there. I wanna, you see where these masking lines are, which they don't even belong there really. I'm gonna paint completely over these, and maybe use that as an opportunity though to get some blue highlights in there too. Why not? We'll probably end up completely painting over that, but just to get some interesting light in that eye. And then I'm gonna, now that I have the masking off this highlight on this eye, I can see that it needs a lot of refining. So I am going to do that, and I want to make this eye a little bit more round, like a marble. So I'm just going to take my time and just work at these eyes and really get them to a point where I can push them. I'm going to try to push them as much as possible. And really play up the roundness here. And also that's better. That's more rounded looking. I like that. Gonna let that dry. I wish they made an even more precise scrubber. I'm just really trying to give this eye a lot of attention. This is dry now, so I can work on it. This is a common kind of pattern of painting I do. I work on an area, let it dry, and then go back and put more little details in. And while that's drying, I'll go work on a different area. So it's just kind of hop around the painting. So I'm going to get a mix of burnt sienna and a little bit of lamp black and or French ultramarine to kind of brown it down to make it more of a dirt looking color, I guess you'd say, a darker, cooler brown. I'm going to put some really dark brown up here in this part of the eye. Let that dry. Gotta be patient. Gotta let everything dry. Gonna get some pure burnt sienna, get a little bit of orange to make it maybe look even more orange. And I'm gonna paint some of these lighter areas in this eye. Actually, there's a lighter little spot in here. I'm going to just scrub it out. I'm going to scrub out the dark. It looks like black I might have put in there. I don't remember what I did now. But this blue is dry, so I can kind of scrub it out. Blot. And then I'm going to put in some pretty bright orange, which won't look bright orange because I've got a lot of color in here. It's going to look duller than it. Bright orange. But I'm going to mix some orange. Pure orange there to put some pop of that color in here. Really getting a lot of colors in this eye, aren't we? This highlight to be really curved there. And let that dry. And revisit over here. And I think we need to put in the super black pupil, so I'm going to rub my damp brush, just a damp brush, not much water in it at all. In fact, let's squeeze out the heel and make sure. So I'm just rubbing my damp brush over my dry black paint to get cream consistency paint in my brush. And I'm going to put some final, maybe the final black details of this eye. Make sure I'm getting the tippy tip of my brush here to follow that curve of the eye. You don't want to overdo the eyelashes, but you do want them to kind of have a wow factor. So put those in, repaint over the black and make sure it's really black. And that eye's looking good. Now, this is dry, and I'm going to put in some really refined eyeliner now. Okay, I gotta let that dry. And then I'm gonna paint black these. This is all eyelash here. Break up the line here. All right, so that is getting closer to what we want, isn't it? Yay. All right, getting there, we're getting there. Since I have black on my brush already, I'll put a few little lines here. There's not much black in the rest of this painting. All right, that's looking good. I want this completely dry. I'm going to let that dry.
All right, thank you so much for joining me for session 7. And in session 8, we'll continue to refine the details and get this a lot closer to done. So I'll see you then.